Welcome, Tim, to our next episode of Who's Penny. It's been a long time, but you finally made it.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
It's a pleasure. So, with all things, with all of our Who's Penny episodes, tell us a little bit about what the business does.
Well, we run a performance consultancy that specialises in SMEs sort of between that $0 to $50 million range. And we're defining a category which is high performance in these type of businesses. So we go in there and we oversee the business. We refer to ourselves sometimes as business partners without any real power. And so we work with people and obviously come in with a whole lot of traditional management consultant resources and procedures with our own idea of how business should go, and we get them moving.
And I've had the privilege of working with Philotimo for a number of years, and I can safely say that it's been truly beneficial for my business, and looking forward to continue to working through 2021 and seeing where 2021 brings us. So, where are you seeing opportunities, given that it's just the start of the new year? Where do you see the opportunities for 2021 on the back of a long and tough 2020?
I think, Damien, based on our experience in 2020, disruption creates opportunity. It's just a natural thing. Anytime in history, anytime you see a form of disruption, whatever it comes into, the opportunities will just be there. And what I believe we have to be is ready, particularly in this sort of sub 50 million type businesses. We have to be ready for the opportunity and ready for our businesses to potentially do things faster than we would have traditionally maybe strategically planned for. But I think the key to this and the key to finding these and utilizing these opportunities is making sure that you're prepared for them regardless of what it is. And I think most businesses aren't. And in that is the opportunity in itself, which is how do I get my business ready to make sure that when things come up that we can execute in a way that's going to be successful, and based on most businesses that have got a lag from last year and they're just still going, we've got our head above water and they're thinking of survival. If we can shift to how do we not only survive because we've got through last year, but how do we really now accelerate? How do we get that momentum back? So for me, it's going to be a year for those that are brave.
Well, I'm brave, Tim.
that you are.
I'm also courageous and a little crazy sometimes. Yeah. And is that what you really worked on with your clients in 2020, getting them ready for 2021 and just building that knowledge base and building that support base for them?
I'm very proud of the clients last year. And listen, I'm not trying to put an ad for our business or anything like that, but
this is ad free, just to let you know.
Yeah, well, we can change that, Damien. There's an opportunity, isn't there? But now that you got the views up, but when we're planning with clients, we've already worked out next year. And we've already worked out what we need to do each quarter. We've worked out the metrics. We worked out what everyone needs to do. So I would consider our clients highly organized and ready to go, regardless of the pandemic, where we need to make adjustments and do the sort of things. And even a perfect example of why Square Penny's become so visual over the last 12 months is because there were active steps based on the way the world was changing. How do we get in front of more people? How do we leverage our networks? How do we do all these great things? And more importantly, the question was asked by you is, how do I add more value? How can I contribute? And when you start from that place, and you're planned and you've got everyone doing what they need to do in your business, things happen. And particularly in small business, performance is just never really that good, to be honest with you. The gaps around performance based on the resources most small businesses have, there's an advantage there if you can get your act together, basically.
And where do you see the challenges this year around businesses? Are there any specific unique challenges you're going to see businesses sort of getting started now in January that they might be a little bit slow off the mark?
Yeah, I think there'll still be obviously challenges when we see how the real economic impact of last year deals with a whole lot of different industries. I think there's an element of a honeymoon period, particularly down in Melbourne where we are, where we had very strict lockdown. It's sort of, we got released from it and it's been a bit of a party and everyone's sort of scrambling to catch up for what they didn't get during the year. And now, what does the new normal almost look like going forward? And I think that's a challenge sometimes for a lot of business owners to really calibrate what was normal will never be the same, even if it feels the same, but it's how we behave, the things we look at, how we make sure that innovation that was required potentially 9 months ago doesn't fall off or out of our business in terms of a priority. Because the great businesses last year were used to innovation, so they made the changes and adjusted quickly. And I found a lot of, particularly our clients, that we used to change and we used to bring in new projects, and we had a team that was open to change. Yeah. Some of them did really, really well, let alone just everyone kept their head above water. Some really found some opportunities, and what others would consider big challenges was their opportunity. And I think for business owners watching this now, you really have to calibrate what you're seeing as a challenge is really probably where your next opportunity is. So how do you go deep into that?
Absolutely. And Tim, like all of our Who's Penny episodes, we'd like to end with a little bit of showing us who you are.
Wow.
Do you have a useless talent that you might be able to share with us today?
I can't. Listen, it's not useless. It's not useless. But
sure, it's not useless.
I wanted to be that uncle that was entertaining for my little nieces. And so the last few years, we've my brother and sister and they've had kids for the first time, and I don't have kids. So it was, I want to be entertaining. So I learned some magic. And right. Particularly, yeah. So I'm going to show you one of my tricks. This could be really embarrassing, and I don't think I'd ever want this in a professional thing, but hey, here we are.
Here we go.
Here's my new trick. Here's for my little nieces. Here, this is how you give a business card. Get it? 1, 2, gone. Hey, where is it? There it is, right?
Tim, great work. That's been the most useless talent we've had on the Who's Penny episode so far.
I like to win things, as you know.
And tell us, what's an old trend that you'd like to come back again?
To be honest with you, Damien, I was lucky enough to get a new car sort of last year, and it's the last of the combustion engines. And when I was 18, trying to make a few dollars, starting my business career, I used to fix up old Fords, the old 1970s Fords like that. And I'm sad that the trend of the combustion engine, not that I don't think it's great that electric vehicles are coming into fruition, but I miss the sound of an old big V8. And I'm like, how can we electronically put those into the new Teslas or whatever the new range of engines is going to be? But I really hope we can find some of that excitement when you used to put your foot down in a 1970s V8, because it wasn't driving a car. It was just whole energy all through you. So that, I hope, comes back in some form, not necessarily to destroy the environment.
Well, Tim, thanks very much for spending your New Year's with me today. I'm looking forward to what the remaining part of 2021 brings. Thanks very much today.
It's an absolute pleasure, and I'm really enjoying the videos, mate. So great to finally be on here.